Because of the staff house नहीं होगा.
Then ask them. Everybody is really fed up of me. They're saying, "Mama's become OCD." Really, I have. I do pocha in the kitchen at least 4 times a day, and I keep saying, "Y'all drop this, and you can clean it." And every time I'm living with pigs, and I become very fed up. I do.
While doing those shows, don't you feel like grabbing your pen and writing something? Doesn't something pop in your brain?
Yeah, it does. It does. Of course. I mean, usually I start doing household chores when I'm thinking, like when I'm typing, I write. I mean, when I'm writing, I write. But then if I get stuck, then I go away and I think, let me clean something, let me bake something, let me go to the garden, and then my brain keeps working.
Yes, then this, I think this is giving you the ideas for the further things somewhere.
Yes, definitely. I've started a new book. This
That's
one's actually
Is it a lockdown inspired book?
Not lockdown inspired. The lockdown is like it's so much in our lives. I don't feel like writing about the lockdown except non-fiction, like a column or an article. In fiction, I haven't written anything about the lockdown yet.
Well, we have a book on Ludhiana now.
This book, the new book is set in Bangalore, but I'd love to set a book in Ludhiana only. I've never been to Ludhiana, so that's all.
That is why Radhika is giving you a special invitation.
You will have fodder for a new
You will
book.
have lots and lots to write about, I promise you, once you visit.
I can give you many ideas for a new novel.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm very sure. I've heard a lot about Ludhiana and all the ladies of Ludhiana.
Not infamously famous?
No, just famous in a very good way. Yeah.
Don't tag us and do those club wala ladies then. The novel.
Not club wala ladies, is it?
You can name us alphabetically too.
Yeah.
Oh God, this is so nice. I love this casual interaction with you. It's so much fun. Thank you so much, Anuradji.
हाँ पर अब क्या करें? These are the times we are living in, It's like ऊपर से अच्छे कपड़े पहन के you put lipstick.
हमने आपका नीचे से भी देखना है.
हाँ, अच्छी बात. Yeah, we all look lovely. Everybody looks lovely. Let me scroll and see.
So Anuja ji, I would like to ask a question. So you have been in kind of India exposed only, or traveled somewhere else and then kind of getting the ideas about writing?
No, actually, I'm the only person from my family who lives in India.
Okay.
There is my parents. My dad was in the army, and till he was serving, we all lived in Delhi, all over India. I mean, the grandfather's house is in Delhi, but you know how you get posted. So we grew up like that, and then after my father retired, wow,
What happened?
some
Bubbly effect.
filmy echo happened. So after my father retired, they migrated to Australia. My dad and mom and all my sisters, and I was the only one because I was already dating my boyfriend and all. So I also had Australian citizenship, but I gave it up because I wanted to work here. I wanted to work in advertising, and for that it's better to work in your own country because you can't go to a new country and then they'll say you don't know our culture. How can you write our ads and all? So, and also I had a boyfriend and I was very keen to get married to him. So I gave up that citizenship. I came back to India. So I just studied in Australia for a year. I did like a master's in mass comm. And everybody else lives abroad. So whenever they want to shop and eat chat, वो पहुंच जाते हैं यहाँ पर.
अरे वाह.
Except nowadays, of course, when that's not possible. So yeah, my experiences are all very Indian and very. I love small towns and busy markets and gardens and parks. I think those are the kind of themes you see in my books again and again.
Your love for India comes across in your books. Definitely.
I know. Aajkal, of course, the situation is such that everybody's love for India is shaken. But yeah, I love living here. I'm very happy Desi person.
And why the love for bougainvilleas?
For what?
For bougainvilleas. Your house is named Bougainvillea.
Yeah, my house is named Bougainvillea. Yeah, it's like a fun on a villa, so Bougainvillea. I love Bougainvillea. वो तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी अच्छा होता है, but देसी is देसी.
Desi. But no connection or no something somewhere kind of old thing which is kind of attached to certain things?
Yeah, no, I just love, I mean, I like my mother, my grandmother. We're just very fond of gardening. And my parents, actually, they are these families from UP and Haryana. Essentially, they're all farmers, my family. They all have zameen and wahan pe wo gehu and, arhar is what we grow. So maybe I just have farmer's blood because, and now, of course, nobody has land anymore. So you just have a garden.
Have
Yeah.
our desi flowers.
Yes, yes. In my father's farm, we used to have, all that sarson and gehu and chana and all that. Now it's just bougainvillea.
With all members in it. And your dogs also, right?
Ah, yeah, so many dogs. And in the lockdown, so many dogs. All these street mongrels are, I mean, I really love the street mongrels. And Hamare township, mein, I'm sure, like everywhere else, some people love dogs, some people don't love dogs. And there's so much chatter on the WhatsApp groups about the mongrels and all. But I'm very much in the pro doggy camp. So we have our dogs from I mean, from our house, and then we have outside dogs who we feed. We get them adopted, we get them sterilized and vaccinated.
That's remarkable work you are doing along.
Yeah, but
All
then,
the way to America as well, right?
yes, that's right. Yeah,
You
yeah.
managed.
Four of our puppies went to the US also, and they got beautiful homes. And there, people pay so much money for dogs, like our local dogs. People couldn't believe it. They got it. People were paying like $1,500 to adopt like a dog who gave birth on the road outside my house. Our dogs are as good as anybody's dogs.
Wow.
They're vaccinated, sterilized, well fed, nourishment. They're so intelligent also. One of our dogs, she came first in the obedience class in Massachusetts somewhere. Amongst all the pedigree dogs, she was the most popular dog, and she won the best obedience prize.
Oh, wow.
Great. That's
Yeah.
So you are going to make Indian dogs kind of up on the Indian map for the world, right?
Just me, everybody, why? Even
Everybody should,
Arvind
everybody.
Modi ji ne bhi Man Ki Baat pe, he gave such a long speech about Indian breeds and Indian local dogs and all that. Then Mudhol Hound and that Kombi and all these, they're all like Indian pedigrees.
Hopefully, we'll also kind of be motivated.
I hope so. Usually, I don't know why we're talking so much about dogs, but I think that people are become very like pedigree conscious, and so people will keep German shepherds and huskies and all these fancy breeds and all, and they don't realize that like those dogs are. It's very cruel the way they are bred and everything. And anyway, the weather doesn't suit them, and our dogs are so smart and intelligent, and they're perfect for Indian climate. They are hardy, and they don't get sick, and they don't spoil your carpet because they don't shed their hair, and there are many benefits.
Radhika, you go ahead.
Yeah. So should we start?
Yes, please.
Yes. So
Normally, yes.
normally, yes. 4 o'clock is the time, so we just have a minute or two. Pooja, you may start.
Right away?
Go for it.
Okay. A very warm welcome to the August gathering. We have amongst us Mrs. Anuja Chauhan, a versatile Indian author, advertiser, and a prolific screenwriter. A very warm welcome to you, Anuja ji. May I now request our chairperson, Radhika Gupta, to kindly address the gathering.
A very good evening to my dear Flow family. Reading not only has tremendous power when it comes to fueling the development of all aspects of language ability, its importance to the entirety of a human life in this day and age really can't be overstated. The power to be found between the pages of a book is formidable. A book is a garden, an orchid, a storehouse, a party, a company, by the way, a counselor, a multitude of counselors. Reading is a form of prayer, I believe, a guided meditation that make us believe we are someone else, disrupting the delusion that we are permanent and at the center of the universe. I truly believe that a book is a dream that you hold in your hands. Today, we have amongst us India's leading author, Mrs. Anuja Chauhanji. It's a privilege to have this opportunity to interact with you, dear Anuja ji. So let's hear it from our Literacy Circle head, Mrs. Pooja Chopra. Over to you, Pooja.
Thank you, Radhika. On the onset, I deem it my proud privilege as the Flow Literacy Circle head to invite our first guest, Anuja ji, for this In Conversation series for 21-22. Flow Literary Circle is an interactive forum where members from Flow Ludhiana discuss, deliberate, and celebrate literary works of eminent writers and poets. For all the avid readers who've joined us today, Mrs. Anuja Chauhan is a Generation X, smart and sassy, intelligent and witty, author advertiser, very well known for her best-selling contemporary romantic comic kind of novels. The Asia Age says the high priestess of commercial fiction. The Mint says the only Indian writer of popular fiction really worth buying. Her lovely work, her famous writings have been The Zoya Factor, Battle of Bithora, Those Princely Thakur Girls, The House That BJ Built, Bars, and now it's the Club You to Death. Thank you, Anuja, for being with us today. Looking forward to an interactive session. We would be reading and discussing Club You to Death in July, and we will get back to you again.
Thank you.
I would now like to invite our moderator, Mrs. Garima Agarwal, the young magical entrepreneur who with perfection and grace waves her magic wand and brings sweetness in our lives with her niche pastry, The Sweet Life. Having completed her master's in IT, Garima's love for cuisine led her to study the culinary arts at Le Cordon Bleu, Paris. Thank you, dear Garima, and over to you.
Hi. Anuja, I am totally fangirling here. When Radhika told me that you would be coming for a Fiki event, I begged her to let me be a part of it. A handful of us here have been a part of a book club for the last 10 years, and we have read, giggled over, and discussed pretty much all your books. Okay, and I just finished reading your Club You to Death, and in a truly Basque-mafic move, you managed writing a book during lockdown with 3 kids at home. Our women audience who juggle a million things at the same time would love to know how in the world you managed to do that.
Thank you. There's I can't hear. I can hear all sorts of other sounds as well. I'm sorry. Something is up, or maybe we just need to mute everybody or something because I can't hear you very clearly, Garima.
Should I repeat myself?
No, that is very long. I got most of it. No, it's okay now. Yeah, okay. Writing in the lockdown was like an escape, you know. I mean, it was really like an escape. Like you get into your laptop, you open it like an escape hatch, and you've like gone down into a tunnel, and now you can't hear the children, you can't hear the confusion, you can't hear the horrible news on television, and pressure cooker ki seeti, dogs barking, you know, son playing the piano loudly, daughters clanking weights in the basement. All that sound goes away because you open your laptop and you're writing. So for me, it's writing keeps me sane, and it keeps me sort of you know, well oiled and functioning well. So it's essential for me. So I was very happy to be able to write through the lockdown, and I find I write quite well during the lockdown. There is no it's like an escape from reality.
Sorry. Was it difficult to juggle your work and all your duties at home?
I'm used to doing that. I've been doing that for ages. You know, like I've been juggling, like when I started writing The Zoya Factor, that was in 2006. That time I had 3 very small children. I had 3 children who weren't even teenagers yet. I had a full-time job and I was writing a book. And I find that I really enjoy writing. It helps me cope better. When I write, I'm less stressed, I feel, you know, because there's an outlet. So juggling is never really an issue because I don't let the writing slip. Sometimes during the lockdown, like I was telling you all before we started the session, I become very OCD, like about keeping everything clean and maintaining law and order, and saying, lockdown may become the best version of yourself. Chalo kitchen renovate karte hain, kabhi weight lifting karte hain, all these stupid projects you get into, and then you realize you're doing too many things, so especially in the lockdown, because I think there's a sense of that this is a special time and we should learn from it and we should improve during it and we should help other people who are in trouble. And so I think staying locked up, you can't look outwards, so everything turns inwards, and that can become a little intense. And sometimes my husband will come and tell me, you're doing, just stop it, you're doing too many things, just cut down on some stuff. So that has happened definitely to me during this phase. But overall, I think if we all look at it that way, it's a period of growth and learning for all of us. No matter, I'm sure everybody here has their own story of how the lockdown has changed their lives, and you've learned from it. I hope nobody suffered terrible tragedies, and a lot of people in my family and friend circle have. But even then, I feel it has been a learning process, and hopefully a creative one, with an output, like a creative, productive output.
Okay, so basically, if you love what you do, it doesn't feel like a chore. Is essentially what you're saying?
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying. I love writing. It's my best time of the day. When I'm in the zone, I throw everybody out and I light a nice, essential oil, and I just happily sit down with my laptop. It's my best time of day for sure. It's my best time of day when it's going well. When it's not going well, it's my worst time of day.
That's amazing to hear, how much you enjoy it. And that of course comes out, your love for writing. You can't do something well if you don't love it. So totally. And so all the Agatha Christie fans are so happy to see a worthy Desi answer to Poirot in Bhavani Singh. So do you plan to take it further?
Yeah, totally. Thank you. I mean, of course, that's like a huge compliment and entirely undeserved. But of course, Agatha Christie is like, she's the queen, right? And we've all read her. And it's because there are no more Agatha Christie's to read, because we've read them all, that's why one says, okay, let me try and write, because, what do we read now that they're over? And the good part with Agatha Christie is that sometimes I forget the end, read it, and fool myself for a while. But yes, there's been a lot of interest in Bhavani, especially from Bombay and the movies. So I've sold the series rights, have gone to a very good studio, and they're going to be making either a film or a web series. They haven't decided yet, and they're very keen on the next book as well. So I've signed a contract for 2 books. So the first one, and now the sequel. I mean, not sequel, because it's a whole different murder and a whole different case. But again, yes, with ACP Bhavani Singh going hunting with his wife Shad.
My screen is frozen. Is it me?
No, it's hers.
No, it's hers.
Yes, it will be fine. Yeah, I get frozen.
So we missed. Yeah, it froze. We missed the last part.
No, so I was basically saying that a very good production studio has purchased the rights to the option to the first 2 books, and so now I'm writing a sequel with a new murderer, and but the same detective.
Yeah, can we expect 33 books like Poirot?
Yeah, I'm very happy to write. As long as they're doing well and my publisher's happy to publish them. But right now it's a good space of me wanting to write and people wanting to read, which is the ideal space for a writer. Yeah, you can expect more for sure.
Love. Yeah, love the character, definitely. So now coming to your USP, the Anuja Chauhan lexicon, it deserves a whole dictionary of its own, literally. So, like Salman Rushdie coined a word chutnification, when you mix mix the 2 languages, but you take it to another level. Okay, and as a reader, I've always wondered, like, how did she think of this? Like, how does it come to you? Like, do you think that because you were brought up in Delhi, does that help, or what is it?
What is
your writing process?
See, as far as language is concerned, definitely the advertising helps, because advertising teaches you to go, searching for the pun and for like a like a nice little take on something or an insight. So advertising, yes, I've done that for 17 years, and that's a big part of, you know, um, trying to develop a ear for language and the way people talk. Other than that, I love how people talk, not just their thoughts and what they're saying and their ideas, but also the language they use. It's very interesting for me, and I listen very carefully. And every time I hear people talking, I make notes in my head, and I try to do it with a lot of affection, like I'm not making fun of someone, but like today, like this electrician came to my house to do some work, on the oven, and he told me, madam, dogi ko lock kar dena, dogi. So now I know doggy, and so then, and I noticed that he says doggy. And because I obviously don't want to make him embarrassed, so then I also say doggy, because otherwise he'll feel bad. He'll think I'm, showing him off. So ये बहुत आसान है, ऐसे मैंने डॉगी को ऊपर रख दिया, आप नीचे काम करो. And then my daughter says, Mama, stop saying doggy. You've been saying doggy all morning. But it just, I tend to notice when people pronounce something differently. And there's this other friend of mine who says that, hi, that happened. Mera dil aise oh dhak kiya. So I'm saying, acha, oh dhak. It's like, oh dhak is so much more politer than oh fuck. But it's like, oh dhak. So it's just, it's things like that. I notice them and I remember them, and I'm always very amused by them. There's one, I think it's a very Punjabi one, but I don't know if you guys will agree. But there's this whole thing of a known to, which also, it was one of the earliest words I heard that I thought was so cute, So if you have a contact, like somebody famous, and you say, "Wo mera known to hai." Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's like so cute, acha ki nahi so known to. So I love words and phrases like that. I tend to remember them, and I like to use them casually. So whether it's young people and the way they talk, and the kind of language they use, I'll notice it. Like I notice the point where everything with the children, like one day suddenly noob is a word, right? Up till now, nobody is saying noob. Now, everybody, all the kids are like, oh, noob, 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 noob. And like, acha, so noob is the new thing that they're saying. Or, the time when dude turned into bro. Now everything is bro. Like 2 years back, everything was dude. So it's just interesting to listen to them, and I enjoy it, and I try to use it for the appropriate character. There are certain characters who have better English, so they will speak. They won't say cannot. They'll say can't, because they're comfortable in the language. Somebody who's learned English more newly will say I cannot go. And somebody who's more casual and more familiar will say I can't do this. There's also things like when I write a character, I decide ki iski kitni vocabulary hai, if someone is like highly educated, or someone has had more exposure, then their lexicon will be wider. Someone who's learned the language newly will not know more than say 200 or 500 words in English. So for that person, I can't use fancy words.
Yeah.
I'll use simple words, and I'll use a basic lexicon, because I'll say this guy probably just knows 200 words, So sad or happy maybe rega, I'm sad, I'm happy. They will not get into joy, ecstasy, agony, all those words will not occur to them. For them, everything will be in that language. They'll only be able to use that many words. So when you're writing, you think about that. What is this person? What is his station? What is his exposure? What will he naturally say? And then you try to work the dialogue like that,
Yeah. Or even someone like Pushpa Pandey, like our, like, and you write it like that when she says our Pappu.
You say our, because
it
she's
just
like,
feels so natural.
Yeah, because she will say hum, bhai hum, so hum kaise bologe? Even Bhavani uses hum. Pushpa and Bhavani are the two people who say hum, because it's kind of like a UP Bihar kind of speak, So people from that area would say hum. And then if you want to get the flavor of that, then you will say we and our.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, perfect. Totally, totally. That is one of the most enjoyable parts of your book, seriously. So now coming to your heroes, Mr. Darcy-esque, dishy, swoony, straight out of I don't know what, like all your heroes from Zen to Dylan to all of them. But your heroines, I've noticed, are normally opinionated and they're bubbly, but they're never shown as conventionally pretty. Okay, so is that you like flexing your feminist muscle? Is that what you're trying to convey?
No, firstly, I just want to say that I'm really not a fan of Mr. Darcy. I don't like that guy. That he's that I don't understand why Mr. Darcy is the person, unless people just want to flex on like how educated and literate they are that they know Mr. Darcy. That guy in that whole book, he doesn't crack one joke. He's that man is a sad man. He has no sense of humor. The only thing I remember he makes is cheap crack about saying, "Oh, you ladies are walking up and down either because you're exchanging secrets or you because you want me to admire your figure, and so I can do both of that better from here." And it's like, what is that? Like, is that supposed to be funny? That is his only joke in that whole book, and. I don't know, yeah, that Mr. Darcy. And who the hell is he to decide? Who are he and Elizabeth to decide who Lydia should marry or not marry? And why are they getting into a business? I don't know, yeah. They're that Darcy and Elizabeth, they're such a pair of no kya kahenge. They do nothing for me. To me, honestly, like Sense and Sensibility honestly is a nicer book. The boys are nicer there. But anyway, that's my little anti-Darcy tirade.
Yeah, but love your Jane Austen, take your Jane Austen. Seriously.
No, I mean, I'm Lydia Bennett. I'm Lydia Bennett. I'm the youngest in my family. I'm Lydia. I am boy mad, crazy, love a guy in uniform. Oh my God, giggly, stupid. I'm like that. So I think maybe that's why that book irritates me so much, because that Elizabeth and Jane are like, oh, hum itni sundar hai, hum itni classy hai, we are not despo, we don't throw ourselves at boys. I've thrown myself at so many boys, I shouldn't open my mouth. So I just can't deal with it. So that Elizabeth and Jane just really irritate me. And they're so mean. I mean, I suppose, see, the beauty of Austen is that she captures it so correctly. It's so correct for its time. Those are realistic characters. That's how it must have been in those times. And, family, reputation, all those things. So I completely understand that it's correct. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I like it. That's all I'm saying. And so for me, yeah, maybe because I tend to prefer the Lydias over the Lizzies, is that's why my heroines are a little more like that. I mean, like Zoya and the Zoya Factor, she's Lydia Bennett. She's not Lizzie Bennett by any stretch. Those are the kind of girls that I like and warm towards and feel are more realistic as a portrayal. At the same time, I don't see why just about feminist muscle and all. Maybe in my later books I'm learning to be a feminist, because I think that my generation, we've just, so much patriarchy is just ingested and ingrained without you even knowing, that you're guilty of it. And I am guilty of it very much so. Especially I work on a brand like Pepsi for 14 years and I spend all my life trying to think like a teenage boy. To ho gaya na mera feminism. So that's my background. But as I grow older, I try to learn better feminism and better dynamics and expectations, and making things more realistic in a romantic situation with a man and a woman. I don't know about my heroes being unrealistic. The only thing that there are two things I stress on heroes, which I hate abandoning and which I feel very uncomfortable if I have to abandon. One is like decency. I write decent guys. I don't like dark or weird, or I don't know. Like so for me, decency is important in a male character if it's a romantic character. And the other thing is fitness. Like I can't write unfit guys. वो मुझसे नहीं होता. So my heroes may not necessarily be extremely good looking, but they'll be fit. And I think fitness though is something we can all hope to achieve, right? So it's not so unrealistic. That's what I tell myself in any case.
Amazing.
And maybe it's sort of feminist,
So also,
maybe maybe it's sort of feminist to also set the bar a little high. Like, why can't we have, as a woman and as a reader, why cannot we expect and demand decency and fitness from a man?
Totally, totally.
Not such a big ask,
Yeah.
for heaven's sake. I mean, so as a mother, surely I want a decent and fit son, So I don't think it's such a, people make it sound like they're so unrealistic. And I'm like, not really. I mean, these are really the two things that they've got going for themselves.
Yeah, like they're not unrealistic. They're like swoony, dishy, like
That's
wow,
because
this is
the
what we
girl
want
is,
in a man, like
yeah, so maybe.
aspiration. Yeah.
But isn't that how you feel when you're in love with anybody? When you're in that happy gas situation, you don't know where it's going, everything is unsaid, nothing has been said, you feel swoony.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you take us
Not
back
that
to that
it will
time.
not last forever. Maybe just a 2-month phase in your whole life. But, but even then, it should be swoony, I think.
Great, amazing. I mean, you take us back to that time, so to those 2 months. So yeah, if you can manage doing that, nothing like it.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
also, your books have a lot of thinly veiled real life situations, characters. I mean, it's very much with the political scenario and everything. So are you now told to censor yourself in a very censored India?
No, no.
No, you never
That
told
has
like,
never happened. Yeah, no. I mean, I've never done it, and my publisher has never had a problem with it. Of course, when see, because books and publishing, we cater to a very small audience. Whenever people make a movie, then everybody craps and says, "Oh, ye nahi ho sakta, wo nahi ho sakta." Even in Club You to that, like while they're working on the movie adaptation of the series, whatever they do, like they have certain things that they would want to tone down, say, all the references to the surgical strikes or whatever, because then you're talking to a much bigger audience, and so you have to be more careful. And because the moment there is money involved, huge budgets involved or big names involved, then suddenly all the Kappanchayats in India and all the Karni Sena and everybody wakes up. For books, it's really not such an issue. So I think as writers, we can get away saying a lot of stuff that as screenwriters we cannot.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next thing again, like obviously the next big step for a book, which which is a good thing we've got from Hollywood, is to make it into a screen adaptation. So what do you think is better, like a movie or an OTT platform? What would be a better adaptation of your books, personally, according to you?
And right now we're working on Club You to that. So right now those Pricey Thakur Girls is being adapted by Hotstar. It's being done by Habib Faisal, who's a lovely director, who's directed um, Doduni Char, Rishi Kapoor and Neetu Singh. And he is very talented. So that is something that's coming out. And Club You to Death is also probably going to be a series only. The good part of a series is a web series is one, you can have more layering in the characters, much more in depth because it's a longer format. So every character, say in Club You to Death, every suspect will be gone into properly. So I guess OTT and a series on OTT gives you a chance to really deep dive into the characters, get all the layering out. Whenever they make a movie, they just throw away large parts of the book, which I don't personally, as a writer, like. It's like I put in so much detail, and when they make a movie, they just take out all the detail. It's like sometimes I honestly think that the simpler books and the less dense books and maybe the not so good books make better movies, because it
Yeah,
is a simpler structure. Yeah. Like if you look at A Suitable Boy, for example, like what did they do with it? That book has so much layering and so much depth, and they just made 6 episodes, and it's like, ye kya hai? Yeah.
yeah, simplistic. Yeah, it just becomes more simplistic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So series is better that way, I think.
So were you happy with the Zoya factor about how it eventually turned
I'm
out?
never happy. I'm never happy with any book that gets made into a movie. I always feel, ye kya kar diya? Nahi, nahi, nahi. So it's not. I felt that they got the heroes casting bingo. I really liked that boy. I thought he did a very good job. Of course, like I said, that you end up oversimplifying a lot of things. I wasn't happy with the fact that the setting changed from Delhi to Bombay. So there are things like that, and when you write a book, a movie plays in your head. And that for you, for a book, I think and that is why when you see a movie based on the book, you're always like, no, but Princess Mia is blonde. Why is she got black hair in Princess Diaries, and so on and so forth. So it's always that, you always feel a little ye kya hua types.
Okay. And who is, any director or actor you would like to, have working on a book of yours? Like, who would you feel would do, justice to it?
Like I said, I thought Dulquer did a very good Nikhil Koda. I really liked him. I thought he was very sweet and correct in that casting. And I don't know. I mean, like it really, like I said, if I start imagining an actor, then my writing becomes really bad. So I don't usually do that. It's of course you would want good actors, fine actors, cast according to the character rather than for star value. Like people come, like for example, when I was writing Baz, for me, like Varun Dhawan felt so correct for Baz, because Varun Dhawan is short, he's cocky, he's fair, he's funny, which is very much that Ishan Faujdar character in Baz, so that in my head came through, and I was happy with it because I thought, oh, this would be nice, out of all the heroes I've written, that is the pairing that I'm most certain of, that Varun would make a very good Ishan Faujdar in Baz. Otherwise, nothing that springs to mind immediately that this person for this role and so on.
Okay. Yeah. And no director, like, what Raju Hirani did with 5 Point Someone, no, I mean, it was totally different, the book and the movie, of course. But
5 Point Someone is like, 5 Point Someone is a really good adaptation. I mean, like Three Idiots is a really good adaptation of 5 Point Someone. I don't know if it's a very, a lot of liberties have been taken, obviously, so it's not very loyal to the book, but it's a damn good version. It's a really good version. Yeah.
Okay. And now, something personal. So like when you came in, a lot of women did ask you, oh, we love your pigtails, oh, we love your hair. And when I told people that I would be, moderating Anuja, what is something that you would like to ask? And this question came to me. A couple of people asked me this, that, we love her salt and pepper hair. We love her quirky style. And, all of us are very looks obsessed Panjus here. So what is it that gives you the confidence to, carry it off? People really want to know this. To carry off your gray so beautifully.
I'm not, one is I'm the youngest in my family, okay? So for me, respect is very important. I've never got it. My name is Anuja. My name means youngest sister. So I have no aukat in any case. In my family, my nickname is Motu Ram. I don't get any respect, So for me, respect is very important. I felt that with gray hair, people give me bhav. I also feel that, my daughters are grown up. I have beautiful daughters. One is 25, one is 22. And
वापस आके फिर को कागज लेके जाने थार दा pollution कराना दोनों
sorry about that.
Ludhiana flavor aa gaya, very nice to hear. So I feel I've grown up daughters now, and like you go somewhere and then people say, oh, you look like your daughter's older sister, and I'm like, I'm not my daughter's older sister, I'm a mother. Yaar, meko thoda respect do. Matlab, what is this? Itna respect mil raha hai, by God. Now when I go, I go with my father anywhere, everyone says ki they think I'm his wife. Can you imagine? I have gone straight from being my daughter's elder sister to being my father's wife. And my father's 88 years old. And he's completely bald.
Oh God.
But it's like, theek hai yaar. But I'm happy with it. I mean, like, I like it because I don't know, I feel comfortable in it. And I think somewhere that root coloring, I started feeling very knuckly, and a little angry about it. And maybe what you said earlier about like flexing on the feminism and saying, this is how old I am, like deal with it, Why should I dumb myself down or make myself look young and stupid when actually I'm old and smart?
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good take on it. I hope all of us can do, like, get inspired by that. Okay, so now, I didn't cover all that you do. For people who, I mean, I'm a big fan, so I know of it. So people who are not here, they may not know that Anuja has written kick-ass lines like "Ye dil mange more, teda hai to mera hai." Going from that, from the advertising to your books, they're not technically only romantic they're not only rom-coms or chick flicks, because you have so many different, characters and so many different settings for each of your books, right? And then coming to a murder mystery, and then now I believe you've written the screenplay for Sardar Ka Grandson, right? And when I was searching you, I saw that you write an op-ed column for the Beak as well. So how do you, I know it's all creative, but how do you juggle from one creative platform to the other? Or does it come easily? Or, some of us working here, if we want to transition into something else, any tips for us here?
See, with writing, what I find is that, like the week column, I've been writing now since 2010. So I've been writing that for 11 years. I like writing different formats because it's kind of like cross training in a gym, like something is more like non-fiction, political, topical, something is like complete escapism, something else is collaborative, you work with other people. If I do some advertising projects also, like most recently I did the Congress campaign for 2019, that is something, again, a different field, different teams of people, different levels of collaboration, and different amounts of science and arts. Something is much more applied art, something is pure art. So I feel if you keep doing these different formats, then it exercises different parts of your brain. So overall, it's good. Just like cross training in the gym, like they'll tell you that don't do the same exercise every day because your body gets used to it and then it doesn't work for you anymore. So it's that. I feel if you keep bouncing from different formats, then it's sort of good. It's like a good chumpy for your brain. So I like doing that. Sometimes it's hard, especially like my column is important for me because that is what works my deadline muscle, because I know that the column has to go. It's Monday night, so the column has to go. So that's good, because otherwise I can tend to become very lazy and say, "Meri kitab hi to hai, main kitna bhi time lagau," type of thing. So it's I find that writing different formats helps all the formats.
Awesome, amazing. That's very inspiring, and especially for women here. And what about people who want to get into writing? There are a lot of budding authors nowadays, even the younger generation. So how difficult is it to get published, or what would any advice that you would like to give?
I don't think it's difficult to get published. It's fairly easy because, publishers love discovering young writers. Firstly, because they don't have to pay them too much money. That's the biggest reason why they love them. And the other thing is that there's always, honestly, a search for new voices, um, you know, something fresh, that whole thing of, even as a reader, I would love like, ooh, Taza Mal, it's nice. So I think there's a market for young writers for sure. I think what's important if you're a wannabe writer is that don't be a wannabe writer, be a writer, just write every day. Sometimes we talk a lot about writing and saying, oh, I'll write, I've got a plot, I've got a synopsis. It's like, just like take a deep breath and start writing, open your laptop and your book or your pencil and paper, whatever it is that you like to do, and just start writing. Just do it. There's nothing like just doing it, and with writing, the beautiful thing is that if you write every day, you write 1,000 words a day, in 4 months, you'll have a book. You will have a book, so it's in your control. It's cheap. It doesn't cost any money, like if you say I want to direct a film, or you say I want to make candles, उसमें investment है, आप bags खरीदोगे, आपको कुछ करना पड़ेगा. If you want to direct a movie, there's a huge budget involved. To write a book, it literally costs nothing. It costs nothing. You just get your laptop and you start typing. In a way, it's like saying learning dancing. You need nothing. You open YouTube, you have all the videos, you can start dancing. So that way, the investment involved is very little. It is just an investment of time that you need to give. So compared to other things for which you may have to study and do a course, and writing, you can just start.
So for all the budding writers, hopefully that
You
helps.
can wake up tomorrow and say, okay, I'm starting a book. And the other thing is that don't see, you know what happens is that if you've read a lot of books and your standard has become very high, so you keep criticizing yourself, you keep censoring yourself, you're saying, "Ye to, it's not as good as what I read and all." So don't do that. Set a low standard for yourself. You can come back and do a second draft and make everything better, but just start. The thing is to start. Like even with fitness, obviously you get up, you're not going to be able to run a mile in 4 minutes. You're not. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't start running. Because if you keep persisting, then you'll be able to run a mile in 4 minutes. So similarly, you're not going to get up and write a bestseller, but you get up and write. And if you keep writing, you get there.
You get there. Yeah, definitely. So now you've covered politics, cricket, property disputes, the 84 riots, wars. I mean, you have your pulse, your finger on the pulse of India. Okay, so what is next for Anuja Chauhan?
What I'm
Apart
writing
from the Bhavani book.
Oh, that's what I've got right now. The Bhavani. And there's some more movies I'm writing, but I can't talk about it. But I again see, like besides just the topics I cover, I like to cover India, the different kinds of India, our mentality, our hypocrisies, our social beliefs, all the little fault lines that we have. And we have such a highly structured society, so structured. We are socially structured. We are religiously structured. We are structured by caste. We have hierarchies of village, town, small town, large town, within the large town, neighborhood, all that stuff. It is crazy. So I love showcasing that in different ways, all these different little, and that's why I think my books are so Indian in theme, because I love to go deep into all these differences that we have. And at the same time, all the commonalities that we have. And I guess my effort always is to say that rising above the differences are the commonalities. So I think every book I write somewhere goes into that. That is what I get most excited about when I'm writing. To again and again prove that no matter how different we think we are, this is what keeps us together. This is, like common humanity that links everyone.
Yeah, totally. So your love for India definitely comes across, like I would say, you would say like Teda hai par mera hai, like your love for India comes across. So
yeah, that's my take on India also. Yeah, for sure. That's yeah.
Yeah. So, without stirring the hornet's nest, if we can ask about, what is your take on the new political climate of India? If you'd like to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I talk about it all the time. No, I mean, I just think that I think we're over the worst of it. I hope. I don't know. You can't say. I feel there was an idea of India that our founding fathers came up with. Okay, from Nehru to Ambedkar to Gandhi to all these guys. They are founding fathers. They had a notion of the country. When they हमको घुट के सिखाया था unity in diversity. That's what India used to mean to us. And we used to say it very proudly, and we really believed it. And I feel that people are messing around with our institutions and with the core concept of what we are as a country. And I'm very disturbed by that. And I think that we need to realize that if we are not that, then we aren't anything really. That is India. That is us. It's all of us together, no matter where we are, in what state we are. What is all this? Ki aap Bihari ho, aap Maharashtra mein mat aao, and aap Kashmiri ho, and aap, Bangalore mein mat aao. What is this rubbish? So for me, that concept of unity and diversity and celebrating that, being proud of that, is the core of the country. And whenever people mess with that, when they tell you what to eat or what not to eat and what to wear and where to go and worship and how to worship and who to marry and who not to marry, it's none of your business, So all that stuff, I just find it ridiculous and very scary and disturbing. And for someone who gave up Australian citizenship 30 years ago, I feel very bad that sometimes one thinks that maybe that wasn't such a smart thing to do, it has reached that point. The news tells you that every day there are more and more and more inquiries to countries like Canada, Australia, the US, of people desperate to get out. Why are we becoming a country where the most educated and the most affluent people just want to get out? So something's going terribly wrong in our system. And yeah, I mean, that's the situation.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really nice take. It's so true, but yeah, but I think we kind of went somber. I don't know. I would love to hear more about this, but I think people want to now lighten up the thing, and they thought like we want to have audience questions. But before that, can we do a quick, fun, rapid fire?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think you're the perfect guest for a rapid fire because you come tuck lad all the answers.
I don't say that now. I'll get क्या कहते हैं? Stage
Okay,
fright.
so out of all your books, your favorite male protagonist?
Male protagonist is Ishan Faujdar from Baz. I like him.
Okay. And which Bollywood actor, you've already told us that, which Bollywood actor would you like to portray him? You said Varun Dhawan.
Varun
And
Dhawan.
the female heroine out of all your books, your favorite?
I think I kind of like Pushpa Pandey best. I love Pushpa Pandey. Pushpa Pandey is great. And I know that poor lady is so unwell now, very old, but I really wanted her to play the character. The lady who plays Sikri, Renuka Sikri. I'm saying, am I saying her name wrong? She plays the Masa in Balika Vadu. That's the actress.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. And so not Fat Katrina, of course, like she very clearly specified in the book.
Not Fat.
Don't play Fat Katrina. Yeah.
No way.
And the one-liner you want to be remembered for?
I don't think I have a choice on that. I think my one-liner is going to be "Ye Dil Mange More," whether I like it or not.
Yeah. Okay, and your favorite Indian author?
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Favorite, matlab ek naam.
No, okay, you can give us three. If you're finding that tough, you're good with three.
That's getting even tougher. No, I mean, this is a lazy answer, but I'll go with Vikram Singh.
Okay. And your favorite international author?
Again, I don't have a favorite. I have favorites. I have names that I rattle off for this. I'll tell you my favorite romantic authors. I love Eva Botson and Meg Cabot. These are my favorite romance writers.
Okay, great. And your take on the many literature festivals popping up in India?
Hi, so bad. I'll tell you my take on literature festivals. Yeah, they really teach you what I went to. The first time I went to Jaipur, okay, I got invited to Jaipur. I was so excited, and there was it was such a huge crowd of people in Jaipur. And I went there, and then suddenly all these people came running towards me, and they said, "Ma'am, photo," and they were taking a selfie, and I was mobbed. In my whole life, I've never been mobbed. I was mobbed, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die." I'm crushed in this crowd, but I'll die happy because I'm so famous. And as this guy was going to click the picture, he looked at me and said, "Madam, what's your name?"
Okay.
Okay,
that just says it all. Yeah. Okay, and your teenagers, they're not teenagers anymore. Your children's reactions to the romantic parts in your books.
When they were younger, they loved it. Now my daughter's more and more turning around and looking at me and saying, "What have you done? Aisa thodi hota hai. You're lying. You're mama." Which is why I started saying 2 months. At least for 2 months, it feels like this. Okay, after that, everything becomes a little less. So yeah, the thing is that you are peddling, the standard thing that what women say about pornography, that it's not really like this, and therefore what men say about rom-coms, that it's not really like this. Yeah.
And the book that made you want to write. You know, the one book that you read and
Oh,
that
the one
made you
that
want to write.
really triggered
If there
it
is
for
one.
me very specifically was the first Princess Diaries book, Princess Diaries 1. That was the one. I read that book and I was
Okay.
like, I want to start writing like this tomorrow.
Oh wow. Okay.
Literally.
Okay. And
Yeah.
finally, to wrap it up, Anuja Chauhan style one-liner to describe Anuja Chauhan.
Mm, mm. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm getting more and more. My whole fam. I think I'll just go with currently we're describing me at the moment menopausal. I'm terrible. I'm unlivable. I'm unlivable with. I'm getting away with it by blaming it on the menopause right now. But that's my state.
Okay, great. Now we can expect a menopausal heroine in the future, I'm sure.
You can definitely expect a very menopausal character. May not be the heroine, but yeah, she's going to be in there and like letting fly at everybody. So yeah.
Great. We're looking forward to that. Great. Okay, over to Pooja, who'll be moderating all the audience questions. Thank you so much, Anuja. It was such a pleasure conversing with you.
It was lovely chatting with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Garima. Anuja, you're adorable.
Okay. Tell my family that they're willing to throw me out with the rubbish today at 4 o'clock.
No. We've enjoyed. We've really had a lovely session with you. I would be, there are a lot of fans here and they would want to ask questions.
Sure.
The first fan coming up is Charul, a very big fan. She's so excited to ask her question. Over to you, Charul.
Yeah. Hey, Anuja.
Hi.
So nice to see you in person, firstly. And I have a confession to make. Okay, so whenever I read your books, I've fallen in love with most of the male protagonists, whether Dylan or Summer or Nikhil Koda or forgetting the name, whoever, you know. So I just want to ask, where do you draw inspiration to write such perfectly flawed characters, such perfectly imperfect characters? Like when I read Zoya Factor, I felt it was on MS Dhoni. It was years ago. So I don't know what your take is, but how do you manage to make it so perfectly imperfect? You know, with that it strikes such a chord.
See, firstly, when I was writing Zoya Factor, MS Dhoni had long blonde hair and he wasn't anybody's idea of a hero or a captain also.
Okay.
Oh no. But I think it's again, like I always write based on real life, you know. So for me, it is it's it's kind of like a bit of a super selector, you know. I mean, like you take something from one person, you take something from another person, and you sort of put it together. Um, that's what I try to do. Like I said, the things I really stress, you see, common in all my heroes is fitness and decency. You know, so that's what is common every time. And otherwise, like I look at boys of all ages and sizes. You know, like Ishan Faujdar is like there's a very little boy I know who that time I think was 6 years old, and I imagined how that character would grow up. Like this boy at 6 is like this, so this boy at 24 would be like this. Um, that's what I do similarly. It's my husband, my brothers, my son, his friends. Um, these are the people I draw from. You know, people I know, my friends. Usually, I always pick on something that I find charming or something I find interesting or irritating or whatever it was.
Thanks.
Thank you, Charul.
Thanks.
May I request, thank you, Anuja ji. May I request Gagan to please put forth a question to.
Hi, once again, Mrs. Menopausal Chauhan. So my question, I love your namak kala mirch wala baal ab. And then it's again, bye to your colored hair. Adding, her screen is frozen, I think.
Yes, I think the screen is frozen. Just wait for a few seconds. I'm back. Wait. Radhika.
Yeah, I think just wait for a minute. I think she'll be back. Some network glitch. Well, what a wonderful session. I'm so excited and happy and all chirpy. She's
So witty.
so candid. I think, wow.
Yeah.
Garima, you did a fabulous job.
Yes.
I think you got the best out of her.
Thank you.
She's so much fun to talk to, you know. We knew that she's going to be a lot of fun to talk.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, it's the guest, you know. Actually, you can ask anything. It's the guest who just makes it fun.
And she was very honest in the, you know, but I say, speaking about the political setup and everything, very, very nicely said.
I think
About most things.
every answer was very unfiltered.
Yeah, very
That
nice.
was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beauty of the whole event.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think she should be back. Ashley, just take care. When she's back, just
Yeah, I'm just checking.
yeah. I'll just call up Shabnam. Is she here?
See.
No.
So I think another 2 minutes, girl. She's joining back. I'm speaking to her.
So Radhika, who do you have? Which author do you have lined up next?
Kabir Bedi.
30th, na?
So we have, for all the book lovers, we have just 40 books which are signed only for Flow Ludhiana. They are definitely on a payment basis and they are available with me. We have the event on the 30th. So please, whoever is keen, the book is nice. I've already started reading it. It's fabulous and it's a keepsake. If please get in touch with any of the core members of me to buy that book.
Is it a biography or an autobiography?
So it's about stories I must tell. So it's his life, I think. Yeah. So I don't know what
It's an
category.
It's an
autobiography.
autobiography, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a fabulous book. I am reading it and I've been glued to it. Very honestly written, I think. It's actually stories which were not told, but I think he just feels he must tell.
So does it,
It's
is
got
it a
fab
lot of,
reviews. Really nice.
yeah. Is it a lot of Bollywood in the book or is it like, no,
No.
that's
no,
nice.
No, it's about his life. He
Right.
himself has, I think, a very adventurous life. And going back in those times, I don't know many people who had that kind of a life. And it's nice to kind of go back and read and kind of, we were not even born probably, you know, in those times, but it's nice to read and go back to that era. So for Flow Ludhiana and for Mumbai, only for these two chapters, he signed the books himself. Otherwise, they all are digitally signed. So I'll be floating the message, but I thought let's wait today. Let me call
This
up.
event is finished.
Is
Yeah.
Anuja here? Ashley.
Just check. No.
Pooja, how many questions do we have?
Was it a time-bound format with her?
We are well in time, but I think now we will have to skip a few questions.
Guys,
Let's just skip mine because it was just about her sense of humor and her writing style. Let's just skip mine.
so girls, she has had some major network glitch. That's what her assistant has told me right now. She's trying. Let's wait for 5 more minutes. Otherwise, we can call it a wrap. Who's this? Nice one.
giving a lot of importance to fitness, huh? She is correlating it with a lot of things.
And the fact that the book says that what's that one line when she said, "What's wrong in expecting men to be fit?"
Yeah.
I love that when she mentioned that.
So overall, I think she's been, I think I've loved hearing
She's
her talk.
amazing.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's
Even
very
I,
candid.
very bindas she is.
I love
She's
the
like that in
Yeah.
all her books also. She's very
Yeah.
candid like that.
I would
She
love
writes.
to have those pigtails sometime in life. They're damn cute.
So cute. And salt and pepper. It's so beautiful.
Oh, very cute. Very, very cute.
You know, her personality matches her writing style.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
That's
when you read
yeah,
her own
yeah.
writing, they won't match, but her book, when you read her books, and then when
You
she's talking,
can, yeah,
you
yeah.
can 100% match.
I wish this would have been a live session. Much more fun.
Yeah.
So I hope.
Radhika Bhabhi, please acknowledge somebody, Anita Dhingra from Jaipur. She's like excellent session. She's
Yeah,
like
hi, Anita ji. Why don't you please switch on your camera and let's talk? It'll be nice to have people, and thank you so much for joining in. We also had Kanika Ved. She's the chairperson of Kanpur. I don't know if she's there right now, but she was there for the meeting. So I think girls, iska koi message nahi aa raha hai. What do we do? Should we go ahead?
Wait for 5 more minutes.
Yeah, let's just wait for 5 more minutes. Yeah.
चारुल का क्वेश्चन तो हो गया अगर चारुल ना होगा ना बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है
thank God Charu ka ho gaya. Her biggest fan.
Charul's been looking forward to this last 1 month से now
And I think Gagan ji also had a good conversation with her before.
Before. That was a lot of fun.
Had a
You
full-
know, yeah. 3:45 to 4 o'clock was a lot of fun actually.
Brain cells are too very activated, yeah. But this person, yes, you kind of click on.
Garima is also a very big fan.
Yeah, I've read all her books.
Yeah.
It reflects the way you conducted the entire session.
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
flawless and very nicely conducted.
Thank you, Sad. Sometimes I felt I was sounding so stilted because she's
Not
so
at all.
spontaneous. You know, so someone else comes across as like stilted because you can't match up that energy or that, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, हाँ ठीक है, हाँ very nice, हाँ ठीक है.
And it didn't sound like that at all.
But I really hope she comes to Ludhiana sometime. I really, really insisted her. I said, please, up dekh lo if you want to. You know, we can kind of shift this whole thing to a little month or later. But she was not giving a date. Then I thought, let's just do it. And then.
No, it's very nice like this also, you know.
So let's hope we have good authors this year. Coming our way. At least till Diwali, we can do whatever live we can.
Call Amish or Amish or whoever he is. I don't
He's
know.
not in India. He's not in India, Charul. He's not in
He came
India.
last year, Charul.
Yeah, he came last year.
Party, na?
Acha, he did?
It was
I
also
didn't.
really good. Pooja, remember?
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
Last
I
year,
had
Mamad had
to
called
Charul.
him.
It was a very nice session.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
He is actually not in country. He doesn't live in India anymore. I inquired.
He is in London, I guess. He lives in London now.
Yeah.
He's a moderator out at Nehru Siddhant Kendra, London.
Yeah, long back, yes.
Long back, he's presently kind of having he's part of the executive or somewhere. He's holding a designation out there.
In NSS?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
There's so many nice Indian authors.
Amish ji come up with a lot of programs for Indians.
Hmm.
And they do it well. I mean, really very interesting. They call in artists around in UK to come and present themselves at the Nehru Center.
Yeah. He discussed about it the last time he came.
Yeah, Ashni. Where are you?
I
Behind the
met him in
camera.
Chandigarh Book Depot once, years ago.
Yeah,
When his
long
first
back.
book came, when his first book came out, so I'd gone shopping to Chandigarh Book Depot. I met him there. He signed a book for me also.
Oh, lovely. So
Yeah.
lovely. Another book
Yeah.
signed by Amish.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is about Tab Amish,
I don't think she'll be coming now. Mujhe lag
We will
nahi raha.
mail the green certificate to her then, Radhika.
I will be talking to her assistant and I'll be doing that. And I'm so sorry for this glitch, but kuch major hi hua hoga. Otherwise, I'm sure even she wouldn't have left so abruptly.
So do I
Just go ahead with the vote of thanks. I think basic.
Okay. A very big thank you to Radhika for for curating this wonderful session, and Garima, you were amazing. The Flow Literary Circle members have all received a copy from Anujaji's copy. Thanks to Radhika. My heartfelt thanks to our annual sponsors, our platinum sponsors, Aurika, Pooja, Margot, Headmasters, AdFlow, MedTech, our gold sponsors, Punjab Wool Syndicate, Mudit International, Yogesh Vanaspati, Sakshi Contour. Our silver sponsors, Crown Rice, Riva by Karan and Aditi Goyal, Lapiza, Avighan, AV Steel, Insomnia, and a very big thank you to one and all for being such a lovely audience.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we can go casual.
Yeah.
And enjoy
Okay,
ourselves.
thank
Thank
you.
you, girls.
Thank you
Have
so
a
much,
lovely
Radhika.
session.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you for this opportunity, and it's
So
I
I'll
hope
just
looking
announce
forward to
people
more
who are
such
here.
events.
Charul and everyone, guys, I'm planning a 2 nights retreat next month to Dharamshala. Please join and let's have fun. 2 रातों के लिए चलते हैं कहीं.
Definitely.
So we are looking at Sorry? क्या बोला गरेवानी?
I said, जब तक लल है, make the most of it.
Yeah, I've decided जो जब होता है कर लो बस.
हाँ, ये टाइम ही ऐसा आ गया है.
चाहे
It's
50
the best timing.
Yeah, 50, 60. how many है वो, like जितने minimum government allow करे उतने करके with all the norms. We should start kind of getting together and then make the most of it, and then maybe we lock down again. Big deal. At least we'll remember this time.
Thank
So,
you, Radhika.
Thank
Had
you,
a great
everyone.
time.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Garima,
Looking forward.
Pooja, Charul.
Thank you, Radhika. You must have seen how
You
much I
made my
love her.
dream.
It's come across.
Radhika, you've made my dream come true today.
I promise you, I have a lot of people who have signed up for live events. I hope the time becomes good.
Wish you all the best.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks.
Chalo,
Thanks,
okay,
everyone.
take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you.
Bye,
Bye
Shweta.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, Pooja.
Bye. Bye, Karima. Thank you.